Here we are, and we are looking at the Hôtel de Soubise in Paris. Wait, Miss Cortez, this is the image for hotel. I know, I tricked you. Well, not tricked you. I just introduced you to the specific hotel that we're going to be looking at for our first official work of art. The room that we'll be looking at in this hotel is called the Salon de la Princesse. But first, a little context about this space. So the Hôtel de Soubise, as you can tell by the name, it's the townhouse or city mansion of the Soubise. The Soubise are prince and princess in title. They are not directly in line for the French throne, but they are nobility. And the house was renovated in the 1730s when the Prince of Soubise married his young wife, who became the Princess of Soubise. And part of the renovation included a series of rooms for the princess's own use. And these rooms were designed by Germain Boffrand. Now, these rooms are what we, art historians, credit as the first fully realized examples of Rococo. So here is our official work of art because this is the actual room we'll look at. This is Germain Boffrand's Salon de la Princesse. This is for the Princesse de Soubise. And this was used as her own private space. Now, I'll give you a further definition of the word salon. But let's look here first. We see some panel doors that are closed to allow you to understand this space. Oh, this is a cupboard. Sorry. There's the door. And then we see these beautiful paintings up on the wall. And then see what I mean about that encrustication? We have these gilded, meaning gold painted foliage that climbs up the walls and centers around this massive crystal chandelier. And we have these plaster casts of angels as they wander around the space in this powder blue sky and these soft white paneled walls and these elaborate and expensive wood floors. Now, the furniture in this room is not original. The original furniture had been removed, looted, probably destroyed during the French Revolution, which we'll get to later on this quarter, but it's been refurnished with some Rococo period furnishings. As I said, this was a room for her own private use, and that is why we call it a salon. A salon is a small private room for social gathering. Now, you might look at this room and say, oh, this doesn't look very small. I'd love to have an apartment that size. It's small for French nobility. It's small in comparison to the massive scale of Versailles. So we have a much smaller space, similar to the ones we saw on the Blind Man's Bluff, right? And these are rooms that people would invite just their, exclusive friend group over for a chit chat in the morning or in the evening. So again, this is a room for her own private use. It has these fantastic windows that are echoed with expensive mirrors. This is a callback to Louis and his Hall of Mirrors because, while we may not want to be at Versailles, we definitely want to floss like we're part of the French nobility, as we are. I love the ceiling here. Ugh. Pastel color palette, right? We have these beautiful soft powder blues. And then all of these angels, they're actually cupids. They're little gods of love. And they're ringing around and looking down on us. So thinking again about our characteristics of the Rococo, lighthearted subject matter, it's a room of love. We're not going to look at the paintings here, but take me for granted that they are, these soft-hearted, kind of romantic painted scenes. Wow, wow, wow. Now, in addition to this, you need to understand how you would be entering and exiting and occupying this space. You would be dressed in the Rococo style. I know, for all of you who are into the history of fashion, the Rococo offers so much. Here we are looking at two pieces, a gown and a men's jacket. You can see it's even encrusted with all the same arabesque and whiplash lines. And yellow may not be your color, but that is silver thread with actual crystals dripping from it. Expensive. Look at this coat, guys. Don't you want to walk into class in the fall, if we are together in the fall? Don't you want to walk into class flossing this? I keep on using the word flossing. I gotta stop using that word. How about sporting this, showing off this? This is a blue velvet, turquoise blue velvet jacket that's lined in silver satin, and it is covered in this extreme silver thread embroidery. Wow. So you fit the part, you fit the room here. This isn't necessarily very pastel, but I mean, are you going to say no to a fuchsia satin suit, men? I don't think so, especially when it's heavily embroidered with all of this hand-stitched flowers and buttons. And women, oh, look it, you feel like springtime is here when you wear this dress. So it's extremely elaborate and decadent and luxurious to be in this space, but you are dressed appropriately for it. Again, this goes back to our idea of we don't have to deal with all of the pomp and circumstance and those rules, the protocol of Louis. Instead, we get to be in our own spaces, invite our own friends over, and I'm not trying to keep you awake by over sensationalizing this. This is extreme playfulness and eroticism all over the place. We're going to talk more about it as we continue through, but think about people gossiping, like, I heard she was sleeping with him and that he said this and then she said this. Oh, no, yes. Or you invite somebody over and you're just there to seduce them or something. That's what's happening in these private spaces during the Rococo period.